Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson. This is Full Time Devils. It's my absolute honour and privilege to be sat here today with a legend of the club, Alex Stepney. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Steve. Thank you very much.
There is a dinner coming up this month which you guys need to be a part of, and that is a 50th anniversary dinner to celebrate Manchester United's first European Cup win. And Alex, you've got a bit of a shout out, that an appeal that we need to get.
Yeah, I mean, look, 50 years, I mean, it's a momentous occasion, especially for us as players and the club, that, you know, let's get as many people, you know, at the dinner to enjoy themselves and be in our company. That's what we're looking for. We want plenty of support for it. So
if you was a fan that was at the Wembley 68 final, we want to hear from you, and you can find out the information about that in the description below. Get in contact with us. So Alex, tell us about that final itself. Tell us why, for the viewers at home, a lot of our viewers are younger. Why was that such an important win for Manchester United, that first European Cup?
Well, I think basically the fact was that obviously times were different then, but you know, we'd had a very sad occasion as Manchester United supporters back in '58 for Munich, and they were on the European trail. They were on the European Cup trail, and you know, somehow we needed to put that right as players, as a team. We had a great manager in Sir Matt Busby who survived the crash. Although he had very bad injuries, but he survived the crash, and it was our aim and his aim that we became a very strong family after that, and to go out and try and win it for him. And it took him 10 years to build the team, which he did do, and I was very fortunate to have been selected to play for the club. And we still had obviously Bobby Charlton, so Bobby Charlton now as captain in the team, and also Bill Fawkes, the other survivor from Munich. So it was a very momentous occasion for us to go out and do it, and we done it in style actually. You know, I mean, I know it went into extra time, but you know, the great George Best made us 2-1 up, and that was fantastic.
Was it a conscious thought thinking about Munich going into the final? Was it mentioned in the dressing room beforehand, or was it just everybody knew?
No, I tell you what, no one ever mentioned it when I came. I mean, but I think I was the last player to join the team, to be honest.
You was one of only 3 transfers in that team.
That's
Everyone
right.
else was a youth player.
Yeah, that's right. It was incredible, because I think Tony Dunn came from Shelbourne in Ireland, because Paddy came from Celtic, and myself. And the actual fact about it was, when I joined the club, you know, I wondered myself, being a Londoner, you know, do they talk about '58? No. It was never ever mentioned, and I knew that you had that feeling that, no, you don't say nothing. But when we won the trophy, that's when it opened up for us to go to Bobby, to Bill, and to Matt, and to wave to the families of those that had passed away trying to win it back in '58.
What was so special about that 68 team? Because obviously we've got the Trinity statue that's outside the East, and it must have been a joy. You must have been a fan half the time, being the goalkeeper, just watching these lads playing for
it was incredible. I mean, unfortunately, poor Dennis didn't make the final because of a cartilage injury, and had to have an operation. But to play behind them, you know, was like anything else. I mean, not only me, but even the other defenders. You know, it was something that you were in awe of, to be honest. You know, and to this day, there's never been a team with 3 European Footballers of the Year playing in the same team together for like 7 or 8 years.
Where does this team? I know you're probably biased, but where does that team stack up with our other European Cup winning sides?
Well, I don't think you can judge that, to be honest with you, for the simple reason that I believe we go in decades, because everything's moved on. The world's got smaller. You know, the ground is. I mean, the pitches we played on in those days. I mean, in Malta it was a concrete pitch with sand on it. I mean, in Gornik it was 6 inches of snow, and at 16 below it was a horrendous situation. And then playing 125,000 in the Bernabeu to get through was some achievement.
There's loads of pictures and videos and images of the emotion of Jimmy Murphy, Sir Matt and Sir Bobby in the aftermath of that win in Madrid. Did you know he was winning it then?
I think when you look at it and realise the situation as it was, we were 3-1 down at half time, but George had scored here back at Old Trafford to make it 1-0. And, you know, 3-1 down, but Matt's team talk was absolutely tremendous.
Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, he never spoke to us as we got in the dressing room. We were going in there looking to think, how can we get out of this situation? He never said anything. But just before the bell went, he stood up and he laughed at us. Now, this is man manager. He laughed, what's going on? You're an attacking team. You haven't attacked this team tonight. You're great players. You should be out there enjoying yourself. Go out and enjoy yourself for the second half. And the bell went. And I tell you what, as we went out into that tunnel in the Bernabeu, he just said, right, lads, you do remember, the score's 3-2. You get the next goal, you'll win the game. Because David Sadler scored. But then, ironically, and you're talking about, was our name on it, Bill Fawkes, a survivor for Munich, scores the...
I think he's ever been that far up the pitch, I think.
He's never been that far. I mean, and George is never passed the ball. George always scored the goal, but he passed the ball to him. But, and Bobby, because Dennis wasn't in the team, Bobby was captain. So, there's 2 survivors of Munich that night. That puts us in the final.
Do you remember a team talk from before the game or half-time in the final itself? Was there anything that sticks out from there for you?
The only thing was about Nobby. Nobby, I remember Matt saying to him as we went out into the tunnel at Wembley, I want you to mark Eusebio.
No problem.
Man to man, like you did 2 years ago in the semi-final World Cup against Portugal. And he done it for 86 minutes. And somehow Eusebio got through. And I saved Nobby, and I saved the team.
Obviously, there's a very famous clip of Eusebio coming and giving you a round of applause, and then coming back and giving you another round of applause. It must have dawned on him what's just happened.
I know. I think it must have. But the sad thing about it, from my point of view, was the fact that I was more interested in trying to start a counter attack. And Tony Dunn had made a move down the left, and I threw him the ball, and then as I turned around, there was Eusebio. And but the main thing was, to keep playing on to the end.
Who had another dig, him or Sir Bobby?
Well, funny enough, I would say probably Eusebio, to be honest, but because it did knock me over when I got the ball. But no, I mean Bobby was. I think he had an equal. They had a bit of a contest during that season, and Bobby came. I think Bobby came second. I think David Hurd actually had one of the hardest shots, along with Peter Lorimer.
Listen, if you want to hear more stories like that, then I suggest you go and get yourself a ticket to the dinner, which is happening this month. And if you are a fan that was at the '68 Wembley Cup final, then we want to hear from you because there's something that we can do with you guys. But listen, Alex, thank you. This is an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure.